Morning, guys. Just got up, and so as you can tell, my structure is still standing, and it's just, first light right now. It's still real early in the morning, but honestly, it's one of those things that you don't really want to have to, stay in longer than you have to. It's, around 5:30 right now, so ended up going to bed around midnight, so about 5 hours of sleep. And I mean, to be honest, it was kind of a rough sleep. I mean, it's a pretty makeshift thing, but I was covered. I was out of the elements. Didn't really get any rain or anything last night, but if we did, I think I would have been fine, as long as it wasn't like blowing or anything too much. And so I think it did its function. Got me off the ground, which was kind of nice. I'll tell you, it's definitely a different experience, sleeping like this, kind of more out in the elements. I'm one of those people that's really kind of used to tent camping, where you just kind of go into your sealed compartment and, fall to sleep. Here, I mean, you got bugs to contend with. Right before I fell asleep, there was, I opened it up to get inside, and there was a big spider crawling right across in there. So, yeah, I mean, you're out in the elements pretty much, except, just for a little bit of cover from rain and that type of thing. But, it's definitely a whole lot better than nothing. So I'll kind of show you how I have it set up here. Underneath, right there at the base of that tree, I just put my pack with the cover over it for the night, just so that, dew and things wouldn't get on it. Got my tripod sitting over there under it. Up here in the, well, first off, you'll notice I did end up using that thermal bivy. This thing is basically just like a really nice space blanket, essentially. Very lightweight material. And so I slept for about 2 hours, and very lightly, very lightly sleeping for 2 hours. And I got pretty cold. And I think it probably got down to around 50 degrees, which doesn't seem that cold or sound that cold, but I mean, when you're laying in it, and you're not moving at all, it can get pretty chilly. So I did bust out the bivy, and it added a little bit of heat, definitely. I mean, not a ton, but enough that I was able to get to sleep. So I think I may actually end up looking into one of their a little bit heavier duty ones. This is a very thin one. That didn't add a ton of temperature, just a little. So I may look into like one of their bigger ones. I think that might be a good improvement to the day pack. I did put my sleeping pad right here, kind of where my butt was, or kind of in my butt and the small of my back, and that was nice. Up here at the top where my head was, I very quickly realized after laying down that I was going to want more support here, so I took some of that smaller cordage and I wrapped it pretty good in this area to give, my head some more support. Then I just took my schmog and I tied it in there just to give, again, a little bit more for my head to lay on. So that worked out pretty well. Like I mentioned before, last night, I did guy out these points so they just go down just to a stake. So I did that for 3 of the corners except for that one. Now this one, I pretty much just let hang. And I feel like that was actually kind of a bad idea. It wasn't too big of a deal last night because there was not really too much wind or rain or anything. But I think it was really blowing. This could be an issue. So I'd probably want to figure out a way to, like, from the inside attach this down. Also, putting a weight on here would be nice, so that when you're inside the I guess we'll call it the A-frame, and you want to get out, you could just, throw this over the top, and it would have a little weight so it actually carry, and that'd be nice. So, overall, I mean, it's not quite as comfortable as a tent, I wouldn't say. But for makeshift, it definitely gets you through a situation. Alright, I was able to stoke up the fire with some of those pieces that were laying there, some of the coals. So now we just got to get some more firewood, and this thing should be good to go. Alright guys, so as you can tell, I got a little bit of a fire going, so that's nice. It's kind of to a point where I don't really have to worry about it too much. Got some extra firewood right there, and I've kind of moved my stuff into this shelter. So if it were to start raining real fast or something, you know, I could just cover that up and have my stuff covered. I mean, I suppose I could use the pack cover on the backpack, but this way I can just lay it all out and almost use this like a table. You know, it's nice and convenient. I can just come up here, look around, see, you know, pick out what I want. I can even hang stuff. I actually, you know, just hang stuff off the branches. So, got my little work sack here. Just put my knife right there, just with the soft loop through the paracord. That works out nice. So, yeah, I pretty much like that. I mean, you know, it's not the absolute most comfortable shelter. I mean, it's not as nice as a tent and a sleeping bag and everything, but for something makeshift, I like it. You know, it keeps you off the ground, keeps you dry. I think it's a definite win. So, I'm probably going to have some breakfast, probably a cereal bar and some Apple Jacks. And, I don't know, just hang out a little bit. I'll probably be shooting some reviews and stuff out here, so definitely watch for those. Alright guys, so I'm down here by this stream that I told you about that's somewhat close to my camp. I was just out for a walk looking for wildlife and different stuff. And so I'm heading back to camp. I got that campfire going, and I'm going to want to end up putting it out before I leave. So I'm just going to fill up this foldable bucket on our way back, and we might also test out that life straw. We'll see how I'm feeling, if I'm feeling daring enough or not. But so we'll just fill this up. You'll notice the water is running. It's been raining a lot. This stream usually isn't this high, but it is today, so we'll use it. Alright, well this stream's so small, I'm not going to be able to actually like dip the whole bucket in there. So I think what I'm going to do is just take this water bottle that I drank last night, cut the top of it off so I can fill this and pour it in the bucket, and just fill it that way. Lone Wolf Mini Landslide. I really like this blade. It's a great outdoors blade. Perfect for this type of thing. Alright, there we go. Alright, got a nice bucket full. Time to take it back to camp. Alright guys, so as you can tell, the fire is burning down pretty good. We'll put all the 6 that are still burning a little in the middle, let them finish up, and then we'll douse it in this bucket of water that we just got from the stream. But before we do that, I'm going to test out Life Straw. And this is a pretty interesting thing. This is something that I keep in my day pack. I haven't tried it yet, that's what I'm going to do right now. And what this is supposed to be is a filter that can actually filter out bacteria, viruses, and spores. And most of the time, filters alone don't get all those out. Most of the time, boiling is really the only thing that can actually, you know, get all that stuff for you. So I'm a little skeptical, and I'm a little nervous about actually trying this thing. But this is actually an item that was designed to be distributed around the third world. And so there's lots and lots of these out there. And what's cool about this is actually they market that with this one filter, you should be able to get a year's worth of drinking water out of this. So I'm interested to see, you know, how hard you're actually going to have to like suck to get the water through this. They say you are supposed to back flush this every once in a while just to clean it out, but you know, gonna give it a try, see how it works. One thing to keep in mind with any filter is you definitely want to keep the intake away from the outtake. So, you know, where I'm sucking on this, I need to make sure that I keep this clean. If this touches that water, I've just defeated the whole process. So I got to keep this really clean, and you know, maybe I'll you know, get a plastic baggie or something to put over that to make sure that it stays clean when I put this away. So let's give it a try. This is just that water that we just got from the stream down there. So it looks pretty fresh and clean, but you never know with this stuff. You know, obviously there could be all sorts of nasties in there. So pop open LifeStraw and let's see how it tastes. Well, I had to suck pretty hard. Well, actually not too bad. So, got some water out of it. It's really not, I mean, it's not like impossible to get water out of it. Just got a little bit. It tastes fine. Well, you know, I mean, if I die from you know, getting spores or something, I'll annotate that for you guys. Yeah, I mean, tastes fine. Tastes pretty much just like regular, I don't know, drinking water. I don't think this is actually doing anything for the flavor. I think it's just that the water I got doesn't taste all that bad. So, I drank a little bit, you know, a few gulps. I'm not going to drink much more than that. I don't really feel like risking it. But, well, I know it at least kind of works. So, let's back flush this. Alright, so I just blew into the filter. I think I got all the water out of it. Alright. Well, seems to work. If I get sick or something, I'll let you know. Alright guys, so I'll just give you a look inside the tripod shelter during the day, so you can just kind of get a feel of what it would be like to actually sleep in this. Hold the flap down. So that's pretty much the look. Obviously got our cords down there. You can see out the front. Up here on the top, I did run this branch, so I was able to just loop my my headlamp in up there. So I did have some light in here. And as we flip around behind us, you can obviously see out the back too. Alright, so there you go. Look inside the tripod shelter. Not a ton of extra room in here, you know, just enough for pretty much you, and then all your stuff can go safely below you. Also, looking at this 6x8 tarp that we used, it's basically just big enough to cover the sidewalls. So if you wanted more coverage, or you know, you wanted it to go down further and act kind of like a vestibule, you'd probably want a bigger tarp. Also, the length that I used approximately 7-foot beams on the sides here. So I'm 5'8", gave me a little bit extra room, so that worked out just fine. Alright, got the last of the wood on the fire, so I'm just going to start cleaning up camp and packing up to leave. I am going to leave this tripod bed just the way it is. I mean, I'm going to take the tarp, but I'm going to leave it together with the paracord and everything. Like I said, this is private property. I kind of like the way it turned out, so we'll leave it up. Maybe we'll come back to it in the future. I mean, I don't exactly look forward to sleeping in it again, but it's pretty cool. So, you know, I might want to show other people, or who knows, maybe we'll stay here again. So, it's a pretty good camp spot. So I'm going to start cleaning up and getting ready to head out. Alright guys, all packed up, pretty much good to go. Just got to put out that fire. It's pretty much burnt down. I mean, there's a little bit of wood left, but we're pretty good. Alright, that should be good. There's no real sticks or anything too big laying around that it would really catch anyway, so that's probably fine. It's a pretty clear area. So, let's head out.